This is NBC6 South Florida Today.
If you've ever been to a comedy show at the Improv or any other kind of similar venue, you know it's something that really requires skill and a lot of guts. But the ability to think on your feet and react to any given situation can really, in the end, be beneficial and not only just funny. It's something we all should try to do, especially in the business world. Joining now is David Suarez. He's the president of Interactive Training Solutions. Welcome.
Well, welcome. Thank you.
We have had you on with Just the Funny, so you are literally a person who thinks on their feet with an improvisational theater company.
Absolutely. I do that all the time with Just the Funny, and now I've started a company that does that and helps business people use the tools that we use in improvisation to get ahead in business.
Now, do you teach them how to be funny, or do you tell them how to think on their feet in a way that they can give the proper answers, or is it a little bit about?
Well, the funny part isn't really necessary. The fun part is, though. And the big thing, to answer your question, is we definitely want to give them those skills that improvisers use to break down situations, to go ahead and break down situations in the business world. So by doing that, if they can go ahead and take something that's really challenging for them and sort of have an opportunity to work on that and figure out what's going on here, then they can go ahead and find a strategy or solution to go ahead and overcome that challenge. And
can you give us an example, for instance?
Sure. There was one time where we did one of the workshops, and I had a student, and the student was interviewing for a new job. And she was really nervous. She had never really interviewed for a job before. She'd always gotten jobs through people that she knew. So she never really had to go into that high pressure environment. Well, we did a workshop, and it was an open to the public workshop. And it just so happens that one of the people there was a VP of marketing who used to be in HR. So we paired them up together, and we actually role played the interview. And during that process, it turned out that the interview was bombing. It was going nowhere, but we were able to diagnose everything and say, hey, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? And we incorporated the rules of improvisation, which is just to listen. And our motto is, if you listen, that equals trust. And if you trust, that equals results. And so we applied that within this whole mock interview, and she nailed it the second time. And later on, she ended up actually getting the job. So it does have results.
You know, you made a very good point, because one of my, when people ask me, how do you do your job? What's the key to it? I say 90% of it is listening. Because if I'm doing an interview with you, and I have in my head all the questions I'm going to ask, how I'm going to be very wittily responding, it doesn't work. You really do have to trust yourself enough to listen. That is so good. I'm so glad you covered that.
Well, the other key piece of listening is that if I listen to you, you now have a trust that everything that you're telling to me is being valued. Mm-hmm. And if it's being valued, you're going to want to give me more information. And those pieces of information in improvisation are what we call gifts. And it really is a gift. If I tell you, you know, Kelly, I really love this jacket.
I would say to you, good taste.
And then from there, we'd go out to dinner. But that's another story.
You're not married?
No.
I am, but thank you very much. My little ego appreciated that.
No problem.
But getting back to the business world.
Well, in Miami, that could be part of the business world, and we do sexual harassment training as well, so
this would be under the category, don't let this happen to you.
Absolutely.
But
this
I
is a
love
don't.
it. But it also sounds like it would be really interesting, not only just to go there and get the basics, but a lot of fun, right?
Absolutely. I mean, improvisation is about letting loose and having fun. We do a lot of team building, and the team building is all based around doing improv games, but you don't have to be an actor and you don't have to be funny. And the best part about it is that when you start having fun and you start to loosen up, you really start to unlock things within yourself that you don't know that you have. For example, you can find out that you might be a better public speaker just by relaxing a little bit.
Right.
And that's what we try to do. We make a fun environment happen.
There you go. How much for the workshops, real quick?
The all-day workshop is $150, and that's going to be taking place this Friday at the Conrad Hotel in Brickell in Miami, and that's a 9 to 5 workshop. It's an all-day workshop. It's a bargain. And on top of all that, what's really impressive is that we have a full array of offerings. So we do corporate training, team building, and executive coaching.
Sounds great. Hey, the Improv for Business workshop takes place, as Dave said, is it Friday from 9 to 5 or Saturday?
Friday.
Friday from 9 to 5 at the Conrad Miami. That's that great big building downtown that looks like it has a concave sort of glass surface. If you'd like more information, call 888-770-7550. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thanks for having Interactive Training
You
Solutions
bet.
on.
Very good. Joel, back to you.
Okay, Kelly, well.